This is the last part of our lecture on valuation. This lecture, we are going to do loan types and loan amortization. So maybe we may have an additional video to this, maybe later, that will explain sinking fund. Because whenever we talked about amortization, it is also necessary we talked about sinking fund. So this lecture will look at the loan types and loan amortization. We are going to look at three things here. The first is the pure discount loan that you are giving a certain amount today and you pay an amount that is higher than that later without paying any interest in between. Then we'll also look at interest only loan that if you are giving, you pay the interest, then on the redemption date you pay the principal. Then we'll look at amortized loan where you are giving, you make payments every at certain period, and that payment will go towards the payment. Part of it will pay principal and part will pay interest. So these are the three types of loan we are going to cover here briefly. The first type of loan uh, types of loan, generally whenever a lender extends loan, some provision need to be made for the repayment of the loan. The repayment of loan here include the principal and the interest. A loan might be repaid in equal installment or it might be repaid in a single lump sum. So because the way that the principal and interest are paid is the way the principal and the interest is supposed to be paid depends on the agreement of the parties involved. There are actually an unlimited number of possibilities, but this lecture we are going to consider three basic types. Like I stated earlier, we'll look at pure discount loan, interest only loan, and amortized loan. So we will try to see how this loan, how the interest accumulate, and how this payment to use Excel to display this. Now, the first type is the pure discount loan. As the name stated, the pure discount loan is the simplest form of loan. With this type of loan, the borrower receives money today and repay a single lump sum at some time in the future. So basically the amount you receive today will naturally be lower than the amount you will repay in the future. The difference is the interest that you have paid. So a 1 year 10% pure discount loan, for example, will require the borrower to repay $1.1 in 1 year time. So if you take $1 and the interest is 10%, so they will give you $1 today and you pay $1.10 a year after. So what value would we assign to $25,000 to be repaid in 5 years? So this is the future value. What is the amount today if the interest rate is 12%? It's very simple. All we do is to discount this backwards using 12%. If you remember our present value formula, so that is 25,000 divided by 1 plus the interest rate raised to power 5%. Raised to power 5%. So this is the value. Once you divide, it means you are going to get $14,186 today. Then in 5 years time, you repay 25,000 naira. So the pure discount loan are very common when the loan term is short, usually if it's a year or less, and they have become increasingly common for much longer period. So let's demonstrate. Let's demonstrate using this example how we arrive at this 25,000, and maybe we can see how this also will pan out. So, but let's demonstrate using this. Let's go to our Excel. Now, here, if you see, This is the question. What value will you assign to $12,000 today to be repaid in 5 years? So the amount today is the present value. So amount today, so is the present value. So what is the rate? The rate is 12%. That is the annual rate, 12%. Now, what is the periodic rate? This is annually. This is annual rate, so the compounding period is 1. Then our periodic rate will be equal 12 divided by the compounding period. We are putting this so that we'll see clearly if the compounding period change. We'll know how to adjust it. So for how many years? We have 5 years, 5. Then the total period will be 5 times the compounding period. So this is equals to this times the compounding period, which is this. So how much are we going to pay in the future? 25,000. We'll write it here. 25 onto 3. That's $25,000. So what amount do we assign today? That is the present value using 12% discount rate. If we use our present value formula, equals to PV tab rate. Our rate is this. That is the periodic rate, comma. Our number of period is this, comma. Our payment we don't have, comma. Our future value is this. Enter. So this is the value. We have 14,185. So if we go back to our Excel, you can see this is the same value. This is the same value. You can see clearly. So if we want it to be positive here, present value, it's outflow, but we can edit it by giving negative to the future value. So this is now positive. So if we demonstrate how this interest accumulates, it means today we are going to collect this value. So if we are going to collect this value, that is, we enter, that is the value we are going to collect today. Now, what is the interest per period? This is equal this amount you collect for the first year multiplied by the interest rate per period times the interest rate per period, which is this. We'll press F4 to lock it. So you enter. So this will be, at the end of the first year, you need to pay this interest. So you add this plus this. So this will be this plus this. So we are not locking anything. So that is the value. So we copy it down. So you can see clearly. The second year, you see it will capture. The third year, it will also capture this times this, this times this. So you can see at the end of the 5 years, you need to pay $25,000. This is how it works. But you get this today, then you pay $25,000 in 5 years time. So this is how the interest accumulate. So if you want to know the total value of the interest you are paying, it's either 25,000 minus this, or simply you just add the value here. So alt equal, this is the total interest we have paid during the period. This is the total interest paid, 10,814.33. So by the time you add this plus this, you see that it will give you this, or this minus this will give you this. So this is how we arrive at this. So you can, I put second example for the treasury bill here. Let's see if a treasury bill promises to pay 10,000 in 12 months, $10,000 in 12 months, and the market rate is 7%. How much will the bill sell for in the market. So monthly in 12 months. So first, the sell price is the present value. So the future value is $10,000. 10, 1, 2, 3. That is the future value. The rate is 7%. Annual rate 7%. The compounding period is 12. That means the periodic rate is equals to 7% divided by the compounding period. Enter. Then the period 12 is 1 year, and the year is 1. The total period will be 12 times 1. Enter. So we have 12. So let's look at, for this interest, let's look at the market value. That means we find the present value equals to PV. Rate is this, comma. Period is this, comma. Payment, no payment, another comma. Future value minus this. You enter. That means this is the price today in the market today. Let's see how it will accumulate. Equals to, that is the price today at 0 period. That is the price today. That is the 0 period here. So if we want to know the interest, this will be equals to this. First period, the interest will be times the rate, which is this. Enter. That is the interest for the first period. Then if you add it to the amount you borrow, this plus this. Enter. So let's look up our interest, whether we locked it. We didn't lock it. So let's use F4 to lock it so that we can cut it down. Enter. Now it's locked. So we highlight these two and copy it down. Double click here. You see. So at the end of the 12th month, you can see how it amounted. So this is interest in the first year, second year, third year, like that. When you add this together and this minus this will give you that. So this is how we do pure discount rate. All you need to do is to know how much it will sell. We'll see more of this when we get to bond. Now the next type is the interest only loan. So the second type of loan has a repayment plan that calls for borrower to pay interest each period to repay the entire principal at some point in future. For this, you be paying interest every period. Then at the redemption date, you pay the remaining interest and the principal. So this kind is called interest only loan. So notice that if it is only one period, then the interest only loan and the pure discount loan are the same. So for example, 3 years, 10% compounded monthly interest loan of 100,000. The borrower will pay 10,000 in interest at the end of first month. Then at the end of second month, they will also pay 10,000. But at the end of third month, they will pay 10,000 plus the amount they borrow. So for instance, if it's 50,000 interest only 50 years, so they'll have to pay 50 the same interest for 49 period. The 50th year, they will now pay the same interest and the principal at the same time. So in the extreme, the borrower pay the interest every period forever and never repay principal. The result is perpetuity. So most corporate bonds have the form of an interest only loan because you pay only the coupon, receive the coupon rate. So this is for interest only loan. So let's go to our Excel and see an example we have treated. So 10 years compounded interest, 10% compounded monthly interest only loan. This the borrower will repay this and interest at the end of each period for the first through 35th month. In the 36th month, they will pay the interest. So let's see, 0. Let's calculate the value first. The amount you are going to receive is 100,000, 100, 123. The interest rate is 10%, 10%, compounded monthly for 3 years. So the year is 3, the compounding is 12. So periodic rate will be this divided by compounding period. Enter, this is our rate. Then the period will be equals to this times the number of year, 36. So the periodic interest will be equals to, our periodic interest will be the 100,000 times the periodic rate, which is this. Enter. So this is our periodic interest. So for 36 months, we'll continue to pay this. So let's look at how it will show here. So for the period, we need to put 0 to 36 here. So what you do, when you bring this and this change to this plus, right click, draw down, take it back up and leave it. So click series, then column. We want it to number it in column. The step is 1 and we want it to stop at 36. So when you enter, you can see automatically it has numbered it. That is a trick in Excel. So no interest the first period. We have interest of equals to this throughout the period. So let's lock it, F4 to lock it, enter. So we'll copy this down. So just double click here. So this is the same interest that will continue to pay up to this period. Then at the end, we are going to repay the principal. So this equals to this. So for interest only loan, this is how the payment will look like. So on the 36th month, we'll pay this and the 100,000 that we have borrowed. So that is how we do interest only loan. Now the next thing we'll look at is amortized loan. So with pure discount and interest only loan, the principal is repaid all at once. An alternative method is an amortized loan, with which the lender may require the borrower to repay parts of the loan amount over time. The process of paying off a loan by making regular principal reduction is called amortizing the loan. You are reducing the principal every year. That is why it's called amortizing the loan. So a simple way of amortizing a loan is to have the borrower to pay interest each period plus some fixed amount. So for example, suppose a business take out 5,000 5-year loan at 9%. The loan agreement may call the borrower to pay interest on the loan balance each year and to reduce the loan balance each year by $1,000. So you can see at the end of the year, 5 years, they will repay the $5,000. So since the loan amount declined by 1,000 each year, it is fully repaid in 5 years. So the periodic payment will go towards payment of the interest and principal. So we have a table that shows how this pan out, and it's called amortization table. So to do this, we first determine the periodic payment, which is C. If you remember, C or PMT. Remember, in our present value of an annuity formula, we'll determine the PMT first. So then we calculate the periodic balance, interest on periodic balance, then get the principal repayment by subtracting. Then the computation of the amortization table will look like this. So we are going to demonstrate how to do amortization table. So we have three examples here. The three examples here. So we'll try to do one. Maybe we'll do this one. Then we'll try other method. We'll use Excel. Students should try to use manual to try to solve this one, that the year is just 5 years to do amortization schedule. But you see, here we have 60 months. You understand? So this will take time. And here we have 30 years compounded per annum. That is 30 years. So let's do the second one. Let's go to our Excel. So amortization. Now this is amortization. This is our table, and this is how we are going to do. So the first thing we do, the person want to buy a sport car could pay for 73,400. That is the value today, and finance this at dealership. They have quoted the loan with APR of 5.1% for 60 months to buy the car. What will your monthly payment be? What is the effective annual rate on this loan? We'll come to that. We have done that before. So let's see. Maybe let me put EAR as part of the table here, so that when we do, we are going to. So first, the amount you are receiving today equal 73,400. 73,400. The APR is 5.1%. 5.1%. Period is 60 months. We are coming to that. The number of years. That is 60 divided by 12. This is equals to 60 divided by 12. That is the number of years, 5. Compounding period. This is monthly. That is 12, isn't it? So the total period is 60, or 12 times 5. So let's say 12, 5 times 12 is 60 from the question. The periodic rate will be equals to APR divided by compounding period 12. Then our PMT, using PMT function, PMT, the rate is this. The number of period is this. The present value is minus this. Enter. This is the PMT. So we are going to do, let's do the EAR first before we do our amortization schedule. Using the effect function, equal effect. Our nominal rate is this, comma, our compounding period is this, our nominal rate. No, I think our nominal rate is this, APR, yes, comma, our number of period is 60, enter. So our EAR in percent amounted to 5.23%. Percent, 5.23%. So this is our APR, that's EAR. So let's look at this. 0, the period starts from 0 to 60. So let's use our tricks we used earlier. We'll right click, come down, go up and leave it. Series. So column, our step value is 1. Stop value, stop at 60. Enter. So just confirm. It's 1 to 60. You can see stop at 60. Then the balance equal this. This is what we are collecting now. Enter. Bring the value there. Now our payment, what we pay every monthly is equals to, we have calculated it before. We are going to lock it since it's the same throughout. We lock it and enter. Then we'll double click to send it down. You can see it's the same because we have locked it already. Same for everyone. Then our interest first month is equals to this times the rate. This is our rate, periodic rate. We are going to lock it since it's the same for all. Enter. So we don't need to lock this. Our principal is equals to the amount we paid. If you take interest out of it, this minus the interest. Enter. Is out of this $1,388.51. This will pay its interest. This will go towards resettling the principal. So if we pay this out of principal for the first month, what is the balance? Equals to whatever we have here minus the part we have repaid. Enter. So we are going to send it down. This is what we are going to repeat throughout. So I'll highlight the 3 and just double click. It will send down. If we do well, then it means at the end of the 60th month, this will amount to 0. So let's check. So you can see this amounted to 0. If we want to know the amount of interest we have paid throughout, all we need to do is we'll just add this together. So we'll just add this together. Let's press just Alt equal. That is the addition. That is the addition. That is the total interest we have repaid for the period. So this is the total interest we have repaid for the period. So, and this is how we do amortization table. You can see with Excel, this is very easy. For 60 months or any number of period, you can easily do it. And when you look at amortization, you can see the payments, we are making the same payment. Initial period, when you start payment, the interest payment is high. You can see, but as you keep reducing the principal, is the interest will be reducing. So you can see until the last period we pay interest of $5.88. So this is how we do amortization. So we encourage students to try to use this method to solve some of this problem we have. And in finance, we have certain way we can do all this, like on the web. This calculation can be done on the web, on this website, Bankrate.com. Let's see if I can connect, if my internet is good, so that we'll put some of the value of what we did just now. Whether we'll be able to do this, we'll go to Bankrate.com. Let's see whether we'll be able to do the calculation. So if you check, if you go to this website, these are some of the things that can be done on this website. So you can see mortgage calculator, simple saving, amortization. This is what we did just now. Let's see whether we'll be able to see whether it will Bankrate.com is trying to load. If I can demonstrate how to use the Bankrate.com, I think we're having I'm having issue with my internet somehow, but it's opening. I just want to demonstrate and see whether I will do the calculation. This is Bankrate.com. So let's go down and see whether we can. This is amortization. Click here, click at amortization. Let's see whether it will help us to repeat the schedule I just did. Now, this is amortization. So he said the amount, the amount, the amount, the amount, the question we did just now is 73,400. Let me go there and write 73,400, 400. Then how many years? We say 5 years. We say 5 years. So that is 60 months. What is the interest rate per year? Our interest rate per year is 5.1%. 5.1. That is 5.1%. So let's see. Calculate 1388.51. Let's go 1388.51. You can see that is our payment. Now let me go back to this. So once I click here to show the schedule, let me click. So look at the amortization schedule. You understand? Look at the schedule. This is the principal payment first year. This is the interest. Compare with what we have done. You can see 1076.5631172232. So let's compare 72323. You can see for the 60 period, and you can see 5.88 compare with what we have done. This is wonderful. All these resources are on the internet. We should try to know how to apply this knowledge. So I believe I've been able to make some positive contribution towards this discussion. So on this note, thank you for listening. This is the end of this lecture.